Errol the Truth Spence Jr., new IBF champion, compares himself to a young, hungry lion. Stay tuned. Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops.
Andre Ward beat him. Yeah, you know.
Do you feel like he really won that fight? A lot of people saying it could have went the other way.
It's a 12-round fight. A lot of people get caught up with what Kovalev. Oh, he got a knockdown. I mean, that's okay. That's 2 points.
Right. But
I feel like Andre Ward, the beginning of the rounds were close, and then the end of the fight was close too. With Andre Ward winning the rounds, and people like, all right, if anything, it should have been a draw. Well, if you feel like it's a draw, you feel like it could have went either way. Right. So I mean, either person.
So why argue if if they gave it to Ward? What makes you so mean though? Because when you sit down and talk to Errol, he's always smiling, very friendly, polite, just good, well mannered, like he was raised well. But what makes you so mean in the ring?
I mean, it's like a switch. I mean, ask the lion why he hunt. A lion,
instinct. Yeah,
just like a lion can play with his cubs and play with his family. When it's time to eat, he turn it on.
Right.
That's how I am.
What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also hit the subscribe button for the latest and greatest of boxing. Now, I did a video yesterday, and Errol Spence Jr., he was getting some road work. Does he have a fight date? No. Does he have an opponent? No. This is what I like to see. This is the mark of somebody who wants to stay a champion, just based on work ethic. Work ethic and mental conditioning, to me, is supreme and supremely important in the sport of boxing. Make sure you guys check out that previous video. I really like what I'm seeing from the kid Errol Spence Jr. He seems dedicated. He also has shown a willingness to fight the best, the Keith Thurman. He says, and he's been saying for probably over a year now, I'll take Keith Thurman, I'll fight him, I'll fight Pacquiao. And it's up to those opponents to try to unify. They're all champions with some version of some belt, so let's see it. Now, shout out to my dudes Ak and Barack, the sweet scientists. They're doing a great job over there at This Is 50. You guys seen that clip at the beginning, and they're asking him, how are you so mild-mannered, yet you're a killer, when they did their interview with him in the ring. And he's like, you don't ask a lion why he hunts, you know what I mean? The lion, he could be in his den and playing with his cubs, but when it's go time, when it's kill time, then he has that switch and he just turns it on. And like Errol Spence right now is looking like a creative player, if you will. Like, not saying he's perfect. There's no fighter that I think is perfect, but he's doing the right things. He's staying in shape. It looks like pretty much year round, not venturing too far into the unknown. And I haven't seen him. I've seen him at several fights before the Kell Brook fight was announced, before he knew he was getting it. I've seen stuff like that. And every time I've run into him or seen him, he looks within a certain threshold. He doesn't look like he's 205 pounds or his face doesn't look all fat. That's one thing. Two, he's doing the call outs. He's letting it be known, even though he's a mild-mannered person, like the sweet scientist stated on their show, he's letting it be known who he wants to fight. You know what I mean? And then he also has an entertaining style. You can't say, oh, he's running, he's doing this. And some people critique and criticize his approach, say he gets hit too much, but this is boxing, and I really don't. When I think of people who get hit way too much, I think of like kind of like the Brandon Rios and Ruslan Provodnikov. No shade to them guys, but they get touched, and that's kind of their style. They get touched. I might get hit 3 times to get this one hard shot off, and that's what it is. I don't really see that with Errol Spence. I think he's doing some pivoting, some shifting, bending at the knees and the waist, and he's trying to evade shots. But I mean, I really don't know what people are expecting. I knew Kell Brook had decent speed. He's crafty. He's one of the biggest welterweights in the division. He has respectable power. He's strong. He was coming down from middleweight. I mean, I don't expect, and he had more pro level experience. Errol Spence went to the Olympics. We know this and that, but Kell Brook just fought Golovkin, which is, some people are saying, HBO is saying he's top 5 on the pound for pound list. I mean, he's certainly a good fighter, and he has almost 350 amateurs. So we know he's good, plus he's 2 divisions higher. I mean, he fought and sparred with Amir Khan. He fought Sean Porter when he was a champion, when Sean Porter had plowed through guys like Paulie Malignaggi, beat up on Devin Alexander. You know what I mean? So Kell's a good fighter. I don't know why anyone would expect Errol Spence to just step up and have no issue after a 9-month layoff. To me, that's beyond me. Why someone would just think, oh, I'm just gonna go blow this talented fighter out of the water, which he eventually did. But it took some rounds. You got to figure it out. And see, this is the thing that's the cold part about boxing is this: if he would have did too much, wasn't defensively responsible, and got sat down, what would they say about Errol Spence? Oh, he has a glass chin. I knew he wasn't ready. Or if he, like, let's say, he got stopped. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's almost a catch-22 if you think about it. He steps up. They say you haven't fought nobody, so he fights somebody, a guy who's undefeated at welterweight, a respected champion that we know is good with all the talents and attributes that I just said earlier in this video. And he didn't blow him out, so it wasn't good. You know what I mean? That, to me, that doesn't make sense. Just like Canelo versus Golovkin. If Canelo wins a hard-fought fight, okay, he was in there with a good fighter. I'm not expecting Canelo, even though I'm leaning towards him to beat Golovkin, I'm not expecting him to be easy work. And so some of you guys as fans, you gotta have to scale it back and be realistic. You know what I mean? Not every single fight is gonna be remarkably easy, especially when you compute all the details like, oh, this guy's been on a 9-month layoff. He is stepping up, you know what I mean? Of course, but like I said before, the style of fight that Kell Brook gave, held a good account of himself and stuff, that's gonna help. I really believe that'll help Errol Spence in the future, because if he would have just went in there and knocked Kell Brook out in the first round, people would be like, oh, that's the Golovkin effect. Oh, he was never the same, and it's the weight cut and stuff like that. People are still saying that, but the fact that Kell Brook did look so sharp in those early rounds and was winning and outboxing, then you can't take anything away. It was a separate eye that Errol Spence damaged, and he had to put something together. He had to make some pro-level adjustments, which is what I like. Now, the last thing, Errol Spence, he talked about the fight with Andre Ward, and it's so funny to me. I told y'all in January, tell the truth. He's picking Andre Ward to beat Kovalev. He said the first fight was a good fight. He said Kovalev is a hell of a fighter in this interview, and he says people are making a bigger deal over a knockdown, which is exactly what I said. And once again, here we go. How come the people say, oh, Ego, you're biased, you're from the Bay, so you're just picking Ward and saying he won? Why do respected industry leaders say the same, if not very similar things to what I'm saying? Why is Errol Spence, he's not from the Bay, he's from Texas, and he's said exactly what I said. People, the thing is, if Kovalev, let's say the second half of the fight, if every round was like that and then Kovalev had a knockdown in round 10, then that could be a deciding factor, because it's happening so late in a very tight and close fight. You're like, okay, damn. But it happened in the second round. Marquez got knocked down 3. Listen to me. If you know your boxing, Juan Manuel Marquez got knocked down 3 times in the first round, and he fought Pacquiao to a draw. You can play semantics and say, oh, one judge incorrectly tallied their score and stuff like that. I know my boxing, so you're not going to stump me on anything like that, little random factoids. At the end of the day, he made it a tough fight, and he survived that first round when Pacquiao was looking ferocious at that time. You know what I mean? Pacquiao wearing the flame trunks and stuff. So if you get knocked down early, Andre Dirrell, here's another example. Andre Dirrell, James DeGale. I thought he worked himself back into that fight well, and he got knocked down twice, not once, but twice. And some people thought he won the fight by fight's end because DeGale slowed down, just like Kovalev slowed down. You know what I mean? So it's not people always trying to make it a race thing. Oh, you're just saying that because Dirrell and James DeGale are both black. You know what I mean? So, and I'm saying the same thing. James DeGale slowed down in the second half, and he made it a competitive fight, just like he slowed down versus Badou Jack. But the reason I'm using, actually, the Badou Jack, there was a knockdown. You know what I mean? But they traded knockdowns. But in the James DeGale Dirrell fight, he was the only one that got the knockdown. He got 2 knockdowns, and Dirrell still worked himself back in the fight to the point where some people thought, hey, Dirrell won that, or it was a draw. So that's the thing. You got to know how to score boxing. You got to know about boxing. It's not just about who you like and this and that. And it's funny, like I said, there's industry leaders, pro fighters that are doing good for themselves, champions, former champions, trainers, and they corroborate by saying very similar messages. But the stuff I'm reading from y'all in the comment section, Andre Coward and inactive bitch Ward and stuff, why is another respected champion who looks very talented like Errol Spence, why is he not saying the same thing y'all are saying in the comment section? Like I said in January, man, tell the truth. Tell the truth. Some of y'all are literally becoming extinct. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Look at the numbers on my channel and look at numbers on other people's channel who are saying the exact opposite of me. Now, I'm not saying I know everything. I learn stuff in this sport every day. You got to humble yourself, like Kendrick Lamar said. But my point is, if I'm so wrong, then why am I producing a following? You know what I mean? That's getting viewership. Shouldn't people hate what I say? Especially when you have people who are saying the exact opposite of what I said. Ward Kovalev. I'm like, hey, I think Ward won. See, this thing is, I'm not an internet dude. You're not gonna cyber bully me into switching my opinion. If I seen with my own two eyes, like I have my own forward thinking. I don't need somebody to influence my scorecard. I seen what I seen, and I don't care who's mad. You know what I mean? And I've been doing this long enough to know the tactics and stuff. You're not gonna brainwash me. Some people say, "Oh, this fighter won," and then they get bad feedback, and then they go back and switch their. Oh no, you know what? After reviewing it, I change it. I'm not doing that. If that's not what I seen. Now, if somebody pointed out something and I rewatched it, I'm like, oh, okay, I see where you're coming from. That's one thing, but that's rare because I usually don't have a problem scoring fights. And like I said, it's so funny because everyone, oh, you're biased. You're just saying this because you're from the Bay, but you got professional fighters like Errol Spence Jr. saying the same thing. He's like, I'm picking Ward to win, and people are too hype about a knockdown. And he's a guy who I don't really remember him really being knocked down in any of his high profile fights. So he doesn't have to, it's not like he's a guy that's getting knocked down like Orlando Salido, so he can relate to it. So that's my thoughts. Back to Errol Spence. He's looking like a problem. He's looking like a monster. Keep it up. If Errol Spence or any of his team sees this video, just keep pushing. He's trying to get a September fight. He's working on the road, and I think he deserves a tune-up and then start pushing for those bigger fights. One thing I think he shouldn't do is be on the sideline so long. 9 months, you know what I mean? You could have had a kid in that amount of time. And as a young, fresh fighter, you want to stay busy. Like even Sean Porter, he was supposed to fight Thurman. Thurman got in this car accident that held him up. He did that little exhibition with Leonardo Tyner. I think those are important things because you've seen how sharp Sean Porter gave Keith Thurman some work. That wasn't no easy work. I had Thurman winning the Porter fight, but Porter made him push and made him work for it, pushed him to the brink, and some people thought Porter won. And had he not had that break, you can't allow somebody else's mishaps or whatever's keeping them outside the ring fuck up your career, basically. You know what I mean? Because no, I'm not trying to sound heartless, but because Keith Thurman got in a car accident, now you don't stay as sharp as possible and possibly lose in a worse fashion because you're not as fresh. That you don't do that. You know what I mean? And we all know why Errol Spence was out of the ring so long, because he was playing the waiting game, because Kell Brook made a horrible mistake and him and his team tried to do a money grab, fight Golovkin 2 divisions high, which I told y'all last year made no sense. Then he got his eye broken into submission in that Golovkin fight, threw in the towel, blemished his record, and coming down to weight, he was deciding, should I go back to welterweight? How are the fans going to respond to that? My eye's messed up. I need to get an IBF extension. You know what I mean? So Errol Spence really had to wait. He's not going to take a risky fight and fight, I don't know, somebody who can possibly make him look vulnerable or beat him while waiting for Kell Brook when you're one click away from getting that title shot. So he just waited on the sidelines, trained with Jermell Charlo, and try to stay as active as possible as he could without overtraining. You know what I mean? But I think Errol Spence, his confidence-wise and just fighting more frequently, I think he'll probably look even sharper in his next fight. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.